Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am that Shawn, and I tell you what, I have the comedians today. As if Asif and Dave isn't bad enough. Oh no, there's a worse team. Latif, yeah, Latif and Dave. Now Latif has been here as long as Asif, if not maybe a little bit longer, and so it's neat. So I either have the director of production or the manager of production. So the number 1 and 2 men right here, and Dave has been here for as long as any of us other old timers, and he is my requested cameraman. And you know why? It's when I get comments like I got today. I only had a few comments, but when 30% of them have something positive to say about the camera work, then then it means something. And that's why, when you keep one guy to shoot, that's just it. Okay, Latif has, not only is he a gem ambassador, he's been around the rocks and minerals. He knows them, he loves them, he enjoys them. He's going to take that camera shot when he's on the camera the way he would like to see it. Dave has done my show, including 9 years of the live show off and on, and then this show so many times that it makes a difference to have the experience of photographing crystals and mineral specimens. The difference, like if you're traveling through a quartz crystal, of the focal plane isn't but a small little turn of the focus ring. And, if done right, you can travel from the front of it through the crystal to the back. And that's the kind of stuff that, Dave knows how to do. He knows how to go down in those little cavities and pockets and see what we can find down in those items. So, yep, I wouldn't trade any of this team for anything. All right, let's see. We have a lot planned. I'm glad to see a lot of you liked last week's show. There was a difficult week I had, as if I really needed another one. When I left filming this show last Thursday, normally I can get home, if all is just kind of okay, in about an hour and 5 minutes. At the current, I've lived in the county over 30 years. At the current house I'm in now, it's about 12 years, and we love it because it's way in the corner of Forsyth County, very, very rural. And we set a record. Over 3 hours it took us to get home. We only have 2 ways to get near the Etowah River, so we're trapped in by a river. So anytime there's a river, you got to work with the bridges. They only build so many bridges, only so many places of egress. We only have 2 into our neighborhood. And I was real impressed with the Raven. She sat calmly and let me figure it out, because we ran over countless number of power lines. We had them where they were just barely touching the roof of the truck. We had to wait numerous times for road crews to saw and clear the roads enough, one lane to get through. And we kept having to try these different routes into a couple of side roads that would eventually give us passage. When we finally turned into the subdivision, we weren't done. At the beginning of our subdivision, it's about 1,000-foot elevation. By the time you get to the back end of it, where we are, you actually go up about 400 feet in elevation. Well, anyone knows here in the South, or the mountains, it's the top of the hills. The higher you go up, that's where you get the high wind warnings. That's where the damage is and can occur. So it's funny. Not really funny, but put it this way, it was noticeable. The beginning of the subdivision, very few leaves down. We thought, oh, not much happened here. By the time we went 400 feet up higher back into the back of the subdivision, oh, what a mess. Trees down, limbs down. We had at least 100 shingles that we lost, so we had already had a roofer coming, so that worked out for that timing of it. Our entire porch was stripped bare. All her wonderful plants that she loved in the expensive terracotta clay pots destroyed, and it was sad. There was her butterfly bushes. It was so weird. Just twisted them and tore them up. Huge mess. But that wasn't the worst of it. No, the worst of it was being in Georgia with no power, meaning no air conditioner, until Sunday, let's see, afternoon, Thursday. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm very heat intolerant now, especially since having had COVID and long COVID. All I could do was sit as motionless as possible. It got up to 85 degrees inside the house on the upper floor where our bedroom is. So the lower floor is kind of where I was at, but still, a temperature of 80, forget it. I just melt down, and it affected my health beyond a shadow of a doubt. I have it triggered a lot of symptoms along the long COVID symptoms, and just feeling so drained. I think I became dehydrated. I never wanted a generator so bad in my life. I already, can't believe I don't have one, because I'm the kind that would have a gizmo like that. But I'm also one that won't go out and buy one new. Oh no, I'll go to the pawn shops, I'll look around, ask a buddy that doesn't use one. I'm going to get one at a good deal. Well, sometimes I think you just better give up on the good deal and go for the new. And I would have loved to have, we almost lost everything in the fridge and freezer. That was my experience. So some people were wondering about their work being done. And of course, unless I go back to really primitive tool, working with tools from, what would that be? The Bronze Age, maybe, Was that the, without electricity, truly a goldsmith can only get so far. But now, think about it. Not in the history of goldsmithing and creating magnificent jewelry, electricity is a newcomer. How did they do those amazing crowns and tiaras and some of the finest pieces of jewelry, including cut stones, without any electricity? That would be quite something, and quite time consuming. But it prevails. Beauty prevails. When you take something out of the ground, you wipe all the mud and dirt off of it, and you see, that's prettier. I wonder if I just polish off the surface, what's below that? What's below that? It's a treasure hunt. Each rough stone that you find is a treasure hunt, because what you're doing as a gem cutter is you're removing what you don't want to release what you do want. And oftentimes, and it's really true, a stone will talk to you about the cut that it wants to become. Many times, a error in a facet. In other words, if I'm, going through the angles, the 0 to 90 degree compass, so to speak, and then you have 3 different rings that you can have to have, a 32 index wheel, a 64, and a 72 and a 96. What they are for, because you have to have 1 divided by 3 if you're going to do trillions and triangles, right? Yes. So between all those combinations, that's how you calculate what it's going to take to bring out the beauty in a stone. So, you know, it starts off with just wiping the mud off, and then you keep going and you see what's beneath the exterior and release what Mother Nature had created there all along. And, you know, the surprises. And I guess that one question I had from the client, we haven't heard from him in a while, a new client had written in, and their question was, what has been your most exciting opal discovery or experience with an opal? And that was easy to answer. And that was that amazing, there were two pieces, that one that my mom bought me at a young age after I took the opal cutting lessons in Sarasota. But the other was a big piece of opal I had gotten in Lightning Ridge as part of a several kilo bucket deal of big blue greens, okay, big peaches of opal blue green. The miners are so clever, they know without having to cut into a lot of that material what it's going to cut or what it's going to look like on the inside. They almost know, because there was a knobby and it was completely kind of a opaque to translucent exterior, but when I really backlit it with light, I could see a darker center. And I decided one day to cut into it. I actually made a little bit of an error by taking the saw and heading for just to cut it right through the center. I could have probably cut it a little differently in that respect if I knew what was in the middle. And what was in the middle, I told this story a few weeks ago, was a black crystal opal, completely transparent, with blue, green, yellow fire coming out of it, and it was stunning. I cut it as a high dome freeform, and I ended up selling that piece for around what would have been a wholesale figure of around, and this is, you know, decades ago, decade or two ago, when I cut it. I actually held on to it for a decade, probably easily a decade, and of course very stable opal, never crazed or anything. And I ended up selling it for like $1,500 wholesale. And so I remember the entire opal deal I bought, which was a lot of opal, was only $2,000. So that was a good way to get back the majority of my money. So a lot of neat experiences, and you never know completely what's inside a stone until you start cutting into it and let it speak to you and let the beauty come out. So let's get to a couple of the few comments here, and let's see if anybody has won the trivia. So can we just quickly flash over to those items real quick? All right, look at this. Boy, those guys are on the ball. All right, so this was the question. Well, actually, I better get out my cheat sheet as to exactly what the question was. So, name, let me see, here we go. Name which one of those stones, here we go, which one of them did not come from the sea? And then the other question was, name what the items are. All right, so as we look at these now, giving you another fresh look, I'm not going to tell you exactly the answers right now. We'll go through them at the end, but I just want to refresh your memory as to what these looked like. Okay, now on to the comments. First, we have, Jan B. Yay, love to hear Miss Jan. And from Dennis. Hello, my friend Shawn. I wonder if you might have a crystal cluster malachite. Wow, I wonder if that's anything like that amazing one I sold a few weeks back. Even a small piece. Also, I'm still waiting for another androdite faceted gemstone. I lost the one I got from you a few weeks ago. Was it only a few weeks ago? I don't remember having a faceted androdite a few weeks ago. I hope you are doing well health-wise. Oh, are you talking about the iridescent? Yeah, let me know, Jan. If you're talking about the iridescent rainbow androdite, in other words, the brownish color looking material from Japan that has that stunning iridescence, and there only were a few ever faceted. I happen to have a few, and only have sold off one or two over a period of time. So let me know if that's what you're referring to. I hope you're doing well health-wise. Well, you just heard my latest story of getting ill from 3 days in just being cooked in the house. And yeah, I didn't fare well with that. So, yeah, first chance I get, I really want a generator. I told Raven, I said, man, I'm the kind of guy that just goes with my persona, a gizmo like that, you know? A guy thing, a generator. We love you and helping you move your closet to ours. That's a great way to put it. In other words, transferring my beautiful specimens over to your collection for you to enjoy. That's the way it's done. That's why you always see these listing underneath a particular specimen saying, you know, previously belonging to such and such collection. The provenance of it. It's important. It matters. Just when I think we have enough, you always find something we must have. Good way to put it. I like to hear that. Hugs to you. Oh, wait, another hug. We used to dread Mondays, but now it's worth waking up early just to see you and hear your stories. Also, helping Dennis find new hobbies. Oh, another hug. I will take those hugs. I love every one of them and need them all. And big hugs back. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock family. That was a fun show, Shawn. 4K resolutions? Oh, yeah. And I checked. Yep, the camera we shoot with is 4K. Now, he said after that, he doesn't know where the signal goes through yet. But overall, the goal will be to have everything being shot in 4K, and then it's up to you to have the TV to be able to carry that kind of resolution, and what a difference it will make. Let's see. Any turgite in your collection? Well, I did happen to have one of the most amazing pieces of turgite that ranks right up there with kind of a museum quality from Graves Mountain, which is the most desirable location to get turgite. If any of you are wondering what is turgite, it's not really an accepted name officially, but what it references is a goethite / hematite, sometimes mixture, that is a completely oxidized into these iridescent rainbow colors when you have the good stuff. And oh man, the specimen I had was the good stuff, and had really neat formations of it, and really I'm so silly compared to the actual value. I gave it away. Oh, yes, I did. But that's okay. It went to a good home. I will check. I actually have goethite that I haven't even checked. I haven't even opened up the boxes, but I'm not sure if I'm going to look. I may have a connection for more of that Graves Mountain. Remember, the Graves Mountain, there's a lot of items. If any of you have noticed over the years and tracked and kept any kind of a record as to what kind of cool stuff Shawn has, he has brought in rutile crystals from Graves Mountain. I have brought in lazurite, beautiful, beautiful denim crystals of lazurite from Graves Mountain, turgite from Graves Mountain, all kinds of really neat stuff. And that is because my good friend has connections there for digging with equipment over the years, and I might have to pay him a visit. So let me look into that. All right, so Cindy says on the trivia, she says she loved the idea of the trivia. So number one was labradorite. So that beautiful, beautiful bluish colored material she has as labradorite. That would be wrong. All right, so I wonder if I should just give the answers at the end. Yeah, let me do that. So we know it's not labradorite. The second one she has as carved agate. Beautiful, she writes. The third one as agatized coral. And then the fourth one as an ammonite. An ammonite. So, she says, hope everyone has a wonderful week. See you next Monday. All right, so everyone remember those four in that order, and each of you will know what you thought they were. We'll tell the answers out at the same time. Mr. Anthony says, hello all. This one, oh, that is one sweet sugar quartz. Thanks for that, man. Also, that Savorite parcel you made me buy. Those are some sweet little green rocks. Anthony, I was wondering when in the world someone was going to pull the trigger and get that parcel. I could only make them so inexpensive. I could not replace those for probably 3 times each that amount. So I'm glad to see that I finally made it cheap enough for you to get it. I held off thinking someone will buy them. Plus, I have a nice little stash of Savorite. You didn't give them away, but you did so. I'm thanking you. Yeah. So, in other words, technically, I got more than a penny for them, so I did not give them away. But realistically, I gave them away. I'm translating his meaning, and he is right. And I'm glad to see that you got the deal. Anthony, you bought a lot of wonderful things, and you deserve something. You deserve a freebie. Okay, from left, looks like a power shell, which I think is abalone. Next looks like carved agatized fossil, okay. The third, next, looks like a geode, would not be from the sea. Remember, the question also was, which one is not from the sea? The last one looks like a small tractor ammonite. I kept going back and forth to carved agate, and 3, a geode or a shell. Will these be up for sale? Well, I haven't assigned them item numbers yet, but if you're interested, I just might make them up for sale for next week. Miss Gabby says, greetings everyone, once again from Helen, Georgia. Of course, that is where my son grew up working. My sister grew up being the baker at the Betty's Country Store, which is the place to go to in Helen for a country store kind of environment, but it's also where everyone gets their groceries. And my son's mom, who's retired from teaching for over 30 years, works there full time just because she has so much energy. She has to have something to do. So anyway, it's neat to see that Miss Gabby actually got to see and met her. Because she is a hoot and a wonderful mom indeed. So I spent years in Helen and gold mining in Helen back on Bean Creek. There's a lot of good stuff going on if you know. That story when I snuck from the hotel room and took Raven into the back of the mine shaft there that you had to hop and cross a couple fences. But I took her at night back into this mountain, and the shaft goes way deep, way past the entrance that you could ever see. Of course, I always have multiple, minimum of 3 light sources each. And but there was nothing dangerous about it. It had been made where you, as an ore cart track, they could take tourists back in it, but that's how far back it goes. So we kept winding back into this mine shaft, and I've been in a lot of them, and so it wasn't bothering me. It was actually kind of a really neat experience, albeit the night was foggy. It was just a little bit of mist, and it made for a very creepy kind of atmosphere. I don't think some of the great horror directors would have found it a perfect natural environment to shoot a movie in. So we keep going back in this mine shaft, and I'm leading the way. And of course, her favorite genre of movie is horror movies. So of course, you have all these horror movies going through her mind. But she's also a brave girl. I've taken her into other mine shafts, the Ruby mine shaft up in Netahela. But these, it wasn't at night. You could see light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, and it was just a safer type of field than at night. So we keep going, and I just keep waiting until all of a sudden, what I've been waiting to hear was, I think we've gone far enough. I was waiting to see how long it would take for her to say that. And I think she was trying to show her manhood and see if, I would just decide to turn around before she did. But I'm not going to. I mean, I wanted to keep going to the end of the thing. And at that moment, when we stood perfectly still after she said that, if it's a sound, if you ever experience it, you will never forget it. And it's the original meaning of what a Tommyknocker is. Yeah. Not the Tommyknocker that Hollywood made and all that, no. Tommyknockers forebode either something wonderful happening, maybe a big strike in the mine, or something bad, like a cave-in, etc. The most terrifying part of the whole experience was the sound. The sound a mountain makes when it sits there. It just doesn't sit there without any kind of kinetic motion. Oh no, just like an earthquake, except in much smaller scales, a mountain will shift. And in that environment, in the back where there's no other outside noises, that mountain was talking. The first time it groaned and let out the most unusual noise, spooked her right out of the gate. But she hung in there. She just didn't take off to the front. She goes, "Oh my gosh, what is that, Shawn?" I said, "You are experiencing something only a few people ever get to experience. And it's a sound that goes back since the beginning of time in the history of mining." The mountain went on to be very talkative. And it never got less comfortable feeling. We started just gradually heading and making our way out. The last part of the story, and here's where the Tommyknockers may have been foretelling a real event, because we Raven and I think we were turned in to the local constabulary for maybe some figures exploring this abandoned mining and tourist attraction. And it was, once you survive it and get out and get back to your hotel room, which is just really across the street, but we had to cross this bridge, which crossed the creek, and there was tall grass, and we literally were down in the grass, and they had their lights on their car like that, flashing through us, and we made it out of the tunnel, and oh my gosh, it took 10 years off my life. Not added, no, off. I felt like I was young again, like I could play kick the can. A great Twilight Zone episode, if you haven't seen it. If you ever get a chance, go inside a mountain in the shaft at night, or even during the day, but go where you can't see the entrance. Go deep enough to where there's no other sound but the mountain. It is a rewarding sound, and it's a foreboding sound. So actually, in the end, if we had not known to be careful stepping out, we would have been caught by the lights. We had a sense of caution. So this is a cautionary tale. And when we approached, which was kind of boarded up, we didn't tear any boards down to get in or out, but we had to kind of squeeze through. And luckily, the Raven's small. And so when we got out, we knew to quickly look and then, drop. And right then, the lights came across. There was 2 cars. They were definitely looking for us. Didn't find us. We scooted back to our room, had a good laugh, and then she wanted to know all about Tommyknocker. All right, that's the true story for the day. I could tell you many other mine shaft stories, and some are not such pleasant endings. All right, so we have, let's see. Miss Gabby says, greetings from Helen. Wow is the word that comes to mind regarding today's show. In my opinion, one of the best specimen shows yet. Wow, that's out of 6 years. I was just thinking that if someone was a beginning collector, they could start a fabulous collection from a relatively little money in today's show alone. Thank you for saying that, Miss Gabby. That means everything to me, because as a beginner collector, when I was young and little, I had people that would just like give me a stone when I working at the rock shop. You know, that's how I got some really neat pieces and learned about them. And so, yeah, if someone offers you a rock, accept it. It would hurt their feelings if you didn't, because part of this hobby is sharing. And why do you think I do the trivia every week? It's because I think it's fun. I want you to participate. And yes, I've given away a lot of neat, valuable items, but it's just sharing the hobby. It just happens to be rocks, and potentially valuable rocks. So it's, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. And I'm glad to see, Miss Gabby, that you recognize the value that I was offering those items at. Trivia answer: abalone, cameo, geode, maybe an Oko, and ammonite, with the geode not of the water. All right, we'll keep those in mind. Have a couple of trips planned in August, so I won't be around much on the chat, but you know I will watch and shop as I can. Stay cool and well, everyone. Miss Gabby, same to you. Be safe on your trips, and let us know all the cool places that you wound up going. Mr. Travis in Indiana. Wow, there's a name we haven't heard in a while. Hello, Shawn. Long time since I have participated. Hopefully I have not been forgotten. I was able to snag the mirror apophyllite and the epidode quartz crystal. You know, I thought about that mirror apophyllite piece after I showed it. And I tell you what, if I doubled the price of it, you would have been getting it way below the value. When you have those huge mirror apophyllite crystals, I've never seen anything else like that. That was a really fine piece. Well done on making that purchase. The epidode and quartz, very, very cool as well. They will be joining my growing collection, which I had to gather from different parts of the house to take this pick. Knowing some of the retail prices out there, I'm really lucky to have these pieces from the old show and the new show. I'm glad to see again that, Travis, you recognize just what value I've been offering, and I love it. And you know what? I don't think there's more people who could be watching if all of you would tell someone else that you know, but I think you're keeping me as a secret for yourself. You don't want to share the deal. That's okay. It'll all work out. No, yeah, so I'm glad to see. So this is what I was saying. Knowing the retail prices out there. So, you know, I don't always know all the prices out there, but those that get around and do know them. And that's why you hear so many of these others commenting that, oh my goodness, you know, I've seen still bites for X number of dollars more. All these other minerals for so much more money. Trivia answers. This was a tough one, but here is my best bet. Number 1, labradorite. Then number 2, the cameo shell carving. Then agatized coral. And then the last one, the fossil ammonite. Okay, not bad. Then number 2, the labradorite would not be from the ocean. Thanks for a great show, Travis in Indiana. Charles in Oregon. Ciao, fellow rockhounds. Great job on the close-up camera work to Dave. Well done, Dave. It's going to be so good to have the show in 4K. I'm really, really looking forward to that. The best I'm getting right now is 720. Charles, you're going to love it. Going to keep it short. I need to go to bed. I have a big day at work tomorrow. I primarily wanted to write in and wish everyone a happy week. With love, Charles. Charles, wow, how kind and sweet and loving. And all of our love back to you. We really appreciate it. And I really, really appreciate it. I'm one of those guys, you know, I was brought up always telling my dad I loved him and also kissing my dad. And to this, I want to say to this day, a little over a year ago, I kissed him for the last time. And that was the other thing. In the time past was the year anniversary of my father's passing and of the funeral. So, yeah, so I made the whole year through the first ofs, and I miss him very much. Having been born on his birthday, we shared a lot of commonality. Trivia, lacking confidence on this one, but giving it a go anyhow. Question 1, left to right, abalone, onyx carving, then agatized coral, then fossilized ammonite. Question 2, the onyx flower carving is not from the sea. Okay, so that was everybody. Let's go to those pieces. Looking at the trivia now. All right, now, what is what? Here we have, now, Cindy said like the first one was labradorite. That was actually a very, very good, I'm not going to say guess because it's not guess. It's an educated answer. This is actually power shell. And power shell, I would know, I spent many weeks in New Zealand. It's a type of abalone that is pretty much only found in the cold waters around New Zealand. And it's also kind of been referenced as marine opal, as you can see why it would be called that. So that's what the inside of the shell would look like. And then in cabochoning it, you get that. There's no, it's just a beautiful, beautiful finish, and there'll be greens in those and whatnot. Now this one kind of surprised me. From Cindy saying carved egg, we had many people on this going with, let's see, we have another, Miss Gabby gets it right on at a cameo. And then Travis, same thing, cameo, but also said labradorite for the first one. And then Charles has it as an onyx carving. I could see that because it looks like in different layers, just like sardonyx is carved using the layers. All right, this is layers. What you have, look at that. As soon as you see the curvature of the what? The shell. This is a cameo carved out of often the conch shell with its different layers of colors. And you can see the curvature there. And So, the power shell, that is from the sea, right? The abalone. This is a cameo from a shell from the sea. And then let's go to the last one, which I think most all of you got this one right. This was an ammonite, and this is a tractor ammonite, and called tractor ammonite only because it looks like the wheels of a tractor like that, and a wonderful polish to it. Complete. You have the calcite crystals that filled in almost all the way on most of those compartments, and this was definitely from the sea. Upwards of 100 million plus years old. Now, the next one, this is the one that got everybody. This is the one that is not from the sea. And this is actually the other half that goes to it. This was a very sad day in Shawn's life, because what I had was a very cool yawa nut. These are like an ironstone, same thing kind of like that boulder opal matrix is composed of. And what happens is this will form around, and then opal will form inside it. So you often get a kernel of opal surrounded by ironstone. Now, the old timers are so good at this, they can often just hit it with a hammer and break them in half. But this particular person, not I, but someone else, did the right thing and probably what I would do, and that was to saw it in half. Can you imagine going from hoping against hope and imagining this amazing, beautiful red crystal opal that was going to be on the inside and you were going to have a real jewel, and instead it's empty. The tomb is empty. No opal has formed inside this. You can see there's a little bit of formation on the inside. That actually looks a little bit kind of crystalline, maybe a calcite or something. But almost always there's going to be a kernel of opal, and usually almost always beautiful fire and very valuable, running into the thousands of dollars. And this one had nothing in it. That was a heartbreak right there. So this one was not from the sea. And with that said, let me see. Did we cover everybody? I believe we did. I'm going through to verify that I covered everyone, and we had, let's see, it looks like Miss Gabby and Travis came the closest, but on the first one, the labradorite, threw him off, and with Miss Gabby, the geo, the little yawa nut opal, threw her off. So well done. All right. Maybe better luck next time. For only the second time in the 6-year history of doing trivia, we do not have a winner. But there's always next. I want to show you the Travis collection. This is the only size picture I could take because I was afraid of my ink. But it'll give you a good general idea. I'm sure Travis won't mind. Take a look at what he's brought together here. So you can see relative. This is a pi disc. PI disc. Oh my, do you remember me? I sold him this. I know this. I sold this. And these are stunning. Polished on both sides in British Columbian nephrite jade. He has a wonderful, wonderful gem bracelet across this specimen. Wow, I wow, if that's a scolecite, I'm not sure. Did you get one of those scolecites? You'll have to answer me back and let me know. Here, look at this bracelet in front. I know this bracelet. It is a beautiful, beautiful multi-gemstone bracelet. Almost all of these items, he has procured them from this show and from my live show I did for over 9 years. So what a beautiful collection. And this is the kind of display you can make in your house, and it can be just like what you see here. You don't have to have some fancy glass cabinets or anything. Just create. And that's the key. Create. All right, with that, let me clean up the little mess I have here, and we'll start the show. Look at this. All right. I mean, it's better than a basket of eggs. These are the most fun. Now, this is the last of, I kid you not, when I made my original purchase from Khalid, my Moroccan dealer, I literally bought over 300 of these spheres and sold out every one. Sold out every one. These are going to be the least expensive of them all. There was no really terrible ones, any ones that I would consider, you know, really below market value. I just set aside, not going to offer. These, there's still plenty decent quality to sell, and I'm just going to discount the price. I'm sure you won't mind that, to put them kind of in line for what they are and the value. Now, this is selenite from, I always can't help but to say Chihuahua. I started doing that when I was young, so I knew how to spell Chihuahua. I used to work as a missionary at 15 years old down in Colima, Mexico, and so there were different kind of words to remember, word associations that I used for such things. And I'll always remember that one. Anyway, cat's eye selenite. And you know, of course, selenite is from the monstrous, cave that they uncovered and drained the water out of a living, growing, basically geode, really, where these crystals of selenite would grow over 50 feet long, 3 to 4 feet in diameter. Temperature in there around 130 degrees. You have to wear ice pack suit. You can only stay in there about 10 minutes. All these kind of rules, but they're going to let it flood back, I hope, when they're done studying it, and let the crystals continue to grow. Okay, so what the neat thing about some of these are, some might be better than others. It's just up to you. Look at that. Look at that cat's eye. Look at that. And it is nature's fiber optic material, because if you look through the other end, look at that. Let me see. Let me put something here of any words or whatnot. And let me get this turned right. And look at that. Look at that. It will bring it to the surface. In other words, it kind of just optically, magically. There's a lot of fun, just like Ulexite. Have you ever messed with Ulexite? That's called TV stone. Kind of the same thing. Look at these. So anyway, since they're not going to be I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. It's just going to be they're like 1 and 3. Here's what I mean. See how you can see through the one end, and on the other part it's cat's eye. So these are the last of what I have. Like this one, I'm going to show you. This is one I'm not offering for sale. Actually, I don't know why. It's probably no worse than the others. And if I ran out and someone probably wanted one, well, you'd probably buy that one for as little as I'm selling them for. Here's another one. It's really cool. It would be a really good one to cut if you were a cutter. Look at the quality of it. Look at the how clear that is. But see that? It's got a little natural, wow, that's kind of cool, cleavage point out of it. So that's that kind of stuff that I'm not going to sell. All right, so here we are. Here we are. Now, you could just use little gem tubes, the little cups for bases for these. I'm not making any money on them, so I'm not going to supply any bases on them, but I'm sure you can come up with something. So you're seeing the last of them. So I don't think there's going to be one in the batch that is of a value less than what I am getting ready to tell you, which is going to be $8 each. Only $8 each. $8 each. So I'm not really putting any restrictions on quantity, but try to keep it to like, I'm sure there's going to be people that want them, so maybe keep it to 2 to each person. And after a couple of days, if they are there's some still available, then you can take as many as you want after that. So very neat item. All right, now I am going to flash in real quick just so you can be thinking about it. And I am thinking, I'm not for certain, I'm either going to sell these or they're going to be part of trivia. But what I am going to show you, all right, look at this material. Look at this material. I had a bunch of this faceted a number of years ago. And oh boy, it cut beautifully. Beautifully. Be thinking about what you might think it is, because I'm thinking that the gift will be the first 3 people that get it right. Country, family, and type. All right, so I'm just putting that out there. And I leave it open to change my mind by the end of the show, but I think that's kind of the direction I'm going, and kind of wind you up a little bit ahead of time there on what might be the next opportunity for you to get something really cool. Okay, so we had a request by Miss Jan. Now, Miss Jan was looking for a crystal cluster of malachite. Boy, there was a beautiful one last weekend. Remember, Miss Jan? It now might have sold that malachite and azurite. So I'm going to keep my eye out. But in the meantime, I do have something that is of malachite origin. And this might be something that Barbara, you may want to mention to Brad right away, because he had talked about wanting what I use to keep my U-238 uranium in to prevent the alpha particles from escaping. I think what he wanted his malachite box for was for something bigger than what this is, so it may not work. Also, this has a neat treasure inside of the chest. Let's take a look at 112-6323. 112-6323, and I am pulling out some of the fun stuff. Oh my, what I'm getting ready to show you. Let me move these out of the way. And then, okay, I am going to unfold that package. This is like the Geraldo Rivera vault, except much smaller. And in my case, I actually have something in my vault. All right, look at this. I think I told the story of we had an entire flat, and a flat in our industry is basically well, some people call it pop, others call it soda, a 24-can soda cardboard holder, and that's called a flat. So when you have a flat of malachite boxes, that means the entire base of that cardboard box has these next to each other, one after the other, all lined up. And remember, let's take a little side look. These are made to fit exactly. Look at, there's no play, there's no wiggle room, and if you turn it around to try to fit it the other way, it might fit better, it depends, or it might not. And sometimes, look at this, they use some of the same material so much that some of the banding can even, seems like it lined up. See this? Yeah, that's almost like from the same piece. Okay, and malachite is a copper carbonate. Now, we had this, I think there was over 50 of these boxes. And we did the worst thing you could possibly do. We knocked the box over, and every single box lost its lid. What is the number of combinations of 50 bases and 50 tops to get them to fit each other? I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what the total number of combinations that would be. Phenomenal number. Well, we started trying to just see how many we could fit a lid to that looked nice and worked. And it took hours. And we got down to only 7 boxes, which out of 50, I thought we did really, really well. So 7 meaning, that if we couldn't adjust them, then, they wouldn't be much good after that. But we did, I thought, real well. And it was another one of those lessons learned. All right, the lid didn't fit, but it only took some sanding and polishing and grinding, and I got it to drop in. Malachite is a complete alpha particle blocker. So for items that exhibit alpha, that are alpha emitters in radiation, it blocks it. And it does a great job of it, including really, really high U-238. Now, I have put something extra special on the inside of this box that comes with the deal. Here is the very cool box, and look inside. That is triplite. That is 45 carats of triplite, and there is some really nice stuff. Triplite never crystallizes. Well, it's always in a coarse type of form, and very little is often found in matrix. But there is some really nice material that can be faceted from this. You just have to look. You just have to keep digging around, isolating sections until you find a piece like Anthony did. Now, I was going through some of this stuff, and it was, there's this piece. I want to show you something. Look at this piece right here. Wow. Look, now that, I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe it I didn't take it out. That's what I couldn't believe. Oh yeah, look. This one piece of rough in, wow, the triplite world. What in the world, even with any inclusions, would make the entire deal worth it? That's a really nice piece of rough. It really is. Then it's things like this one. Look at this. Look at that. Okay, you can see multiple crystals in this one. You see those? See, you have intersecting crystals. It's there's also something unusual in there. A very interesting mineral specimen. I hate to find something really cool and then take it away. Because I haven't looked. I just went by weight. Look at these. These happen to be a little bit better quality because they came out of a parcel that was better quality. I am right now probably a triplite king because I, at the right time, made a couple of huge triplite purchases. And that's why I can offer a lot of this material at the deals that I have. So there's 45 carats here. You can see that one piece would be amazing to cut it. And then the other thing is triplite has a very weak radioactive signature. It's not much more than about twice the ambient radiation in the air, and the malachite box, of course, stops that altogether. It's the rare earth elements because, let me show you, manganese is a big player in the triplite world. Triplite is often found in granitic pegmatites, and granite often contains rare earth elements. And if I went up Stone Mountain with my metal detector and started, there would be numerous places where I would get active readings due to the rare earth elements scattered throughout the pegmatite. Now, in formula, triplite is a manganese fluorophosphate. So there's fluorine and there's phosphorus in it, and that's where you're getting the radioactive reaction, just like from the phosphate beds in Florida. All right, let me show you something interesting. We talk about using a magnet with garnets. Let me show you. Look at this. Here's the classic N52 neodymium magnet. Wow, these are wanting to jump on there. Why is it that something without any iron is so magnetic? Well, triplite being a manganese fluorophosphate, there's something a little special about the manganese. And it's in the form that most manganese in specimens is found in, which is a manganese Mn 2+. In other words, there's two electrons, two free electrons that are not matched up. And when you get that, when they don't have a partner at the dance, they're going to go dance somewhere else. And that is the key to magnetism. And magnetism, in this case, it would be called paramagnetic, meaning it is weakly magnetic from one pole, from just one pole. If it's ferromagnetic, then it is strongly magnetic from both poles. In other words, from the positive and negative end of the magnet, it will attract from. Paramagnetic, no, only one direction and much weaker. Now, the magnetic elements are iron, cobalt, and nickel. Now, let me tell you why that's important. When you are looking at platinum alloys, or as a goldsmith at the bench, and it's very difficult to determine if something's 9.0 platinum, 9010 platinum iridium, or 95.5, which is the cobalt or ruthenium mixture, because you're all mixing together the group of metals called the platinum group. And as long as you stay in the platinum group, you can blend, and the high melting temperatures kind of keep them as good agents to mix with others. In other words, they use 10% iridium in platinum as a hardener. Iridium is within that platinum group of metals. You have rhodium. Rhodium is used to plate over all white materials and metals so that they look as all the same color, and even in case you used a lower carat solder or in the past someone else has. It evens it all out and is in that same group as well. So here's the trick. Cobalt is magnetic. If you have a 95.5, 95% platinum, 5% cobalt alloyed ring, and it's not stamped, it is very difficult to try to be able to use testing acids to figure it out. A simple magnet will do it. It will tell you that you have a cobalt platinum alloy instead of an iridium platinum alloy. Nickel. Nickel is a naturally magnetic, attractive magnetic item. Unpaired electrons can align their spins and create a magnetic response. So in an Mn+2 chemical formula, you have two unpaired electrons, and they align their spins and create a magnetic response, thus telling you what you have found. There's a good chance that you have found triplite. Triplite, right here. And once again, I've shown you how important the use of a magnet is. Copper, this is copper carbonate, nothing. You can do all you want in the world to copper and it will not magnetize. There's many metals that you remember as a kid. Did you ever magnetize something? Yeah, we used to be able to run the magnet down something and like the screwdriver and make Dad mad and magnetize it. There's a whole story as to exactly the what happens and how that works, but we won't go into that. Just know, again, to look at the use of a magnet. Carry one with you. All right, so here is a treasure box. Brad, if you want to call in and get it real quick. I don't think it's exactly big enough for what you were looking for, but you might want it anyway. Look at that. Look at that. 45 carats of triplite in a safe box. I actually have the Geiger counter here, but we're going to move on to some other things. But trust me, it's a just a really light radioactive response due to the phosphates in there. And what a neat box. What a neat box. I love gemstone boxes. Price on this guy, only $95. Only $95, and it includes all those very, very neat triplites, especially that one, which would easily cut a gem well beyond that. All right, let's look at item 112-6623. 112-6623. And do I have something beautiful for you? Look at this. Look at this specimen. Yes, I continue the gemstone specimen show. Wow. Wow. This is from the Wanzala mine. I don't think I had it in, I don't think I had room to put it in the description now that I was thinking about it. I meant to. But the Wanzala mine, so if you get it, just remember that. It is the most famous mine, probably in the world almost, for primo pyrites in so many different forms. Look at this. Pyrite forms in an isometric system, meaning all sides are equal. Chalcopyrite, completely different. which is can look similar, but the crystal system is completely different. Look at this. Look at how beautiful so many of these crystals have a unique form, all their own. And then there's something else you may have already noticed. Look at these black crystals. Look at these black crystals. They are all over, and then you look a little closer, look at that. There's a yellow one right there. Then look at this. A little black crystal right there. More everywhere. Look at how stunning. Oh, see the little white back in there? That will be calcite. Look at these. Look at these. Now, there's something else that is really magical I discovered on this piece. I was looking to see if I missed any other minerals, so I went into the closet with my black light. And boy, did I get a surprise. Every one of these sphalerite, and there were so many more of them, the tiniest of little specks of sphalerite reacted. All orange fluorescence. Stunning orange fluorescence. I kid you not, all of these sphalerites fluoresced with the greatest of ease, and even at a wavelength not fully in the UV range. In other words, not 365 or below. I think what I was using was a 395 range. And it was stunning. It was stunning. The orange that was peppered all over this specimen. Brad, I know you like fluorescent items. I would, and remember, if you don't like it, you can return it. It's not like it won't sell again, or if I kept it, that would be just fine. I have enjoyed this. The Wanzala mine, remember that if you get it, because no, we don't have the room on the graphics. The orange fluorescence, the first thing you do when you get it, you run to that closet, let your eyes adjust to the darkness for about a minute, and then turn it on. And it's gonna glow so much orange, your mouth will drop. Look at the shape to these pyrites. The crystallization is extremely well defined and is a classic for pyrite. See all these little black specks? They're so much easier to find when they're orange in the dark. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, I have this very reasonable, and it's a great chance to get in on a specimen that has such unique fluorescence with the sphalerite. It's worth it for that alone. And it fluoresces, again, like I said, really easily with little effort. Price on this, well below what the market would want, only $68. Only $68 on that. All right, let me wrap up a couple things. I'll be right back. All right, here's a monster. I am telling you what. Triplite isn't found in large sizes unless it's of a kind of a commercial grade, just a bulk commercial mineral that chemically, yes, it's triplite, but gemstone wise, no, not much. All right, let's see. Let's do our little test here. And oh, absolutely, you can see, of course it's heavy, but you can see it definitely has a magnetic response. All right. Yeah. So we have a triplite. So let's look. Let's look at what kind of color do we have in this jewel. And oh, do we have color? Look at that. Now that is a lot of triplite. You know, just like that opal, you wonder, of course, the miners thought that they knew the opal and could judge it from the outside without having to cut it open, and I'm sure they're 99% right, but the number of pieces I bought was probably 100. So if they're 99% right, they're wrong 1 out of 100, and I happen to have that one that had that jewel in it. Look at that. So is any of this material clean? Have perfect clarity, or at least a clarity good enough to facet? It certainly looks like it. Look at this. Look, it is almost all triplite. And wow, that is pretty impressive. And I can tell you one thing. You know, all this triplite came from one small pocket discovered in 2015. And that was it. Other than that, it was, and still is, I mean, it was one of the 10 rarest gems on the planet. And still holds a high degree of rarity and valuable nature to it for that reason. Look at that. Look at that. So, yeah, all kinds of gemminess in there. And look, I am quite curious, and you know, I was getting some gold refined, and I was looking for the gold, and while I was looking for the gold, I found one of my favorite loops, and it's a bigger one. So let's look. I want to look at something. I want to look right down in that gap. Oh, look at that dirtiness. Let me clean that loop real quick, at least get some of the dust off. It was in the bottom of my computer bag. Okay, so let's look right in there. I see a whole lot of crystals going on or something. Wow, look at that. That is so cool. Great work there. And yes, wow, look at that. Look at that. Those are a whole lot of fun. A whole bunch of little crystals. I could not tell you at this moment what they are, but they are easily enough able to figure it out, go through the steps, check fluorescence, check for the things that you can test for. And then you look up what triplite's associated with from this particular location. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat to be able to, sorry about that, to be able to look that deep into that gem. All right, so you can see the size of it by itself. What a wonderful specimen if you just displayed it exactly like that. You don't even have to cut stones or do anything else. That is a large specimen of triplite. A really nice rare stone, and I tell you what, there is no reason for me to budge on the price at all, but I will, since I have shown it before, and I try to follow my guideline of showing it a little less each time, but this one, certainly, I'm not encouraging the sale. I'll take 10% off. Let's go ahead and make it $39. And with the $39, that'll be a final price, because after that, you know what? I saw a lot of gem material in there, and if I slice even some really thin slices, I can picture myself creating a polish on them, drilling 2 holes in them, and just make simple dangle earrings. Or, you know, and who else is going to have triplite dangling earrings? Just all kinds of neat things. Tumble the piece as a whole. Just fun stuff. Fun stuff all the way around. Okay, now let me make sure those bag numbers match up. Yep. Okay, look at this. Item number 111-6523. 111-6523. Now, if you're a rock hound, you may have Christmas trees with beautifully painted wooden ornaments of mineral specimens. You may have beautiful real specimens around, but something that you need to have that you probably don't, but you should, and that is a British Columbian, your very own, high quality, by the way, British Columbian light switch cover. Look at that. You know what? Or, what a neat thing to do, create some kind of frame for a specimen, or even some of those, let's say you had a cabochon, one of those cabochons with the hematite in the center and the 6-ray stars of rutile coming away from it, or some, you know, they're thin but you have beautiful patterns, something like that, and frame it out in this, and you could put this anywhere. It doesn't have to go over a light switch cover. And by the way, this is a European size, but it fits our slider switches. The switches that, you know, the dimmer switches and other switches. You just have to get the right switch. It's conventional for that. And since this is British Columbia material and it's mined there, it is, it follows the British Columbian, the British way of doing things. This is some of the highest grade. Wow, look at that. Nephrite I've seen. Wow, look at that color. Look at that color. Again, a lot of creative things now that I'm thinking about it. I kept thinking and staying focused just on light switch, but now I'm thinking of light box. In other words, I'm thinking of this is a frame for something a lot, something very cool. Mineral oriented, of course. All right, so that said, this switch plate, these are expensive and they use a high quality material, and the price just keeps going up. You can see the polish on them that they have to do and the quality of material that they have to use. Let's do this though. I am going to, it was $77, and the lowest I'm going to go on that, I'll make it $68. $68, final price. Take advantage of it while you can. All right, let me show you. Let's see. Let me check looking at what time it was as the clock runs out on me awfully quick. Let's look at item 112, 6723. 112, 6723. I have a jewel, and I was the one that had the most of this material starting off over the years. I bought a nice batch of it, smartly so, and then have used some of it and have sold off some of it and have sold off some more of it, and I wished I had it all back. But I'm going to continue to sell because I can't cut it all. Check this out. Check this out. Look at Mother Nature's colors. Wow. All right, so you have this, look at that. Look at that natural color. Then you have, look at that. Whoa. All right, we'll take this and put it away before Shawn does something to it, like break it or something. All right, Afghan lapis. You hear people talking about, oh, you know, not going to be any more lapis. Well, I can tell you that there is definitely going to be a supply disruptions, but anytime there is money sitting in a mountain somewhere, it's going to be extracted. It's going to be extracted, especially as remote as the lapis deposits are. And money you know, of course you heard of blood diamonds, blood this, blood that. Well, you know, the Taliban, who of course have taken over Afghanistan, they have their own ways. The lapis has been being mined there for thousands of years through many, many other cultural changes, different diverse governments and everything, and the lapis has continued to flow. Now, it will end, quantity will end, but I doubt if altogether there won't be any more lapis, because again, that would be like leaving money in the bank and walking away from the bank. This is one of the largest pieces I have left. I was looking at it and looking at the natural shape of it. That kind of looked like a boot, or like Louisiana. Look at the pyrite, beautiful pyrite. And go in the closet. This is a definite closet watcher piece. Fluorescence. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yellow fluorescent calcite, all this material. And remember, lapis is really what? It's not really lapis lazuli, it's really a sulfur dominant aween, which one day they'll get the name changed over. But that'll be, you know, one day, because everybody is so stuck on saying lapis, I don't know how they would ever change the name. Now, if you wanted to start off on this piece to find out what it's about, take an end cut. Take an end cut so that it maybe sits up on its own. Take an end cut at a little bit of a angle, so it maybe angles back just the right amount. All kinds of fun things you can do if you have a saw. If you don't have a saw, well, this piece lends itself to easily being put in a stand, or be creative and have another piece of lapis and lay it against it. Use it just like this, and guess what? Put other little cool carvings or specimens on top of it. And in the end, you're going to have a high quality piece of lapis that is only going to get more and more difficult to find. There will be lapis out there, but as far as the quantity and the difficulty, it will be more difficult. Prices have gone up, without a doubt. I bought this a long time ago, and I just look at what I offered some of the earliest lapis for, calculate the price per gram, and stupid me, I just used that same factor, and it must have been from a decade ago. You know, like nothing has happened, like the thing called inflation or anything. No, I am still stuck in the old world. All right, so get in on this piece of lapis, because it is a deal. That's all it is. It's a wonderful, wonderful deal. And if I could keep it all that I had, it would be something that would be wise. Would be a wise thing to do. But can't keep everything, and in place of that, how about I am going to offer this substantial piece for only oh golly, I don't know, let's just do this. Let's make it $88. Only $88 on that. Giveaway. All right, let me keep going here. Let me show you. Item 112, 6923. Let me check that. 112, 6923. And I found something that I hadn't seen any of these in a while. I thought I had sold them all. Check this out. All right, so you have this beautiful lapis specimen. Then look at something like this. Look at that. Look at these wonderful vanadinites. And that's probably me that put vanadinite. Vanadinites. And so I'll move this out of your way not to distract you. And let's take a look as we go in closer. Look at the vanadinite crystals perched on top of the barite. The barite crystals. I love stuff like that. Then there's also other minerals to identify. That's going to be your job. But I can see some black crystallization here. Could be hematite, could be goethite. Look at that. Look at the beautiful, beautiful combination of the two together. Price on this, it is only wow, yeah. So let me get this one and then this one because they were the same. Yeah, okay, $44. Only $44 on that. So let me show you item number 112. And then let me look. 112 6823. And this guy, a little bit similar, but a little bit different as well. And I found these two together. Like I said, didn't know I had any more. These would have sold out long again. Look at that. All right, so here's the two side by side. You can see a little bit difference in the color of the vanadinites. This is a starry night sky of brilliance. That's pretty impressive in itself. All right, as we look at this closer, oh boy, look at that. Again, barites and then vanadinites. And you can see the different color of the vanadinite, how it changes. Look at that. You have crystallization all over this piece. Then look at that on the bottom. Wow. Wow. Does it stand up on its own in any way? That almost looks like a Christmas tree. Impressive. Impressive. Beautiful, just like that. Same price. Make it only $44. That's a beaut. That is a beaut. Now, I don't want to get these mixed up, so let me put that right here real quick. And you have that, yep, 6823. All right. Now next, let's see. Oh yeah, we got a little time. So let me rock and roll here as quick as I can. All right. Item number 112 4223. 112 4223. This is the mineral that I want to take a flame to because it is supposed to. The mine opened in 2009 to collecting hexagonal crystals. Would that be enough to tell you where it's from? It is pyromorphite. Greek word pyromorphite for fire form, because a melted sample will form and will crystallize while cooling. I want to see that. How cool, huh? Okay. This. Look at this. Nothing like the colors of. Look at that. Look at that. I just want to compare some colors here for a minute. Look at Mother Nature's colors. Look at that pyromorphite. What a beauty. And there's weight to it. It's heavy. There's weight to it. And Look at that. Look at those crystals. You see how they all actually can bend? They look like they're arced, some of them. And then it has cerussite. Cerussite is a lead carbonate. And the pyromorphite, you can see I have the chemical formula in there. It looks like it's a lead chlorophosphate. That's only one. That is only one to a set of two. And the mine opened to collecting in 2009, but it had been closed for a long, long time. The mine closed in 1880. Well, how long was it open before that? Look at this. Here's another piece. Here's another piece. So one you could even share with a friend if you didn't have any, if they didn't have something like that, or just add it to your collection. Two stunning, the color of pyromorphite has to be one of the most attractive colors in the mineral kingdom, I think. It really is. We'll let that spin for you for just a minute while I wrap this beauty up. And let's see what else we can find for you real quick here. All right. Now. Oh, yeah, thanks. Price, yeah, that'll help. Price, okay. Well, I'm going to make it less than it was. I hate to do it, though, but I will. $58. $58. Is that less than it was? You wouldn't tell me. Yeah, you'd be messing with me. I know it. Yeah, you know, he knows pricing, and he can't believe how and I don't blame him. He really fights for the cause, and I appreciate that. I do. He is a champion for the downtrodden, and I sure feel like I have been there. Indeed, in this last year. Okay, let me show you something. If this is something that you don't hear talked about too often, but it is a mineral that is around us. Aragonite. Aragonite, item number 104. 9622. 104 9622. This actually comes in an old Kirky box. Let me show you. And look at this crystal. Okay, look at the original label. And wow, from Aragon, Spain. The original location where it the name originated. It doesn't get much better than that. Wow. Wow. What a specimen. Lavender Spanish Aragonite. Rare. From my own collection, twin crystals, Molina de Aragon with box and label. How old is that? Look at this crystal. Look at that other crystal on top. This is outstanding. Look at that lavender color tone to it. That is unique. This is a collector piece, and I am offering it at a deal. Incredible. It's a polymorph, calcium carbonate polymorph. So it's a polymorph of calcite, and it's a low temperature near surface is how it's formed. It was named in 1797 for the village of Molina de Aragon, Spain. And isn't that interesting? This actual specimen is from there. The Mount Aragon province. polymorphic calcite. Price on this piece, this rare collector opportunity, is going to be a discounted opportunity. And if you don't realize the treasure that you actually have here, well, you should, because I have marked it down now to only $44. And, you know, opportunities like that only come by once in a rare while. So that would be a fantastic one to jump in on. Now, I have a diamond parcel here, but unless someone says that they want to see some diamond parcels, I think I will pass on that, because not all of you have been interested. But I noticed you like some prehnite. Let's look at item 105722. 105722. Look at this. Here is a prehnite, and it is a faceted prehnite, checkerboard cut, and you've seen prehnite. It's almost always a smoky or hazy kind of color tone, kind of like rose quartz. But you've seen the prehnite from the specimens I've had from Connecticut and wow, look at that, and India, from the basalt traps. And remember, it was that test I did about the zeolites, and a lot of you got this one wrong and thinking prehnite was part of the zeolite family. It's because it's found often with the zeolites. Here we go. How would you like this big stone for, let's see, it's 7.90, so 8 carats roughly. Let's discount, and make it $15. 15 lonely only dollars on that one. You hear the door knocking? That is opportunity at the door. Don't I sound like just one of those other salesmen that I can't stand to sound like? Oh, so please forgive me if I sound like a carnival huckster. It's been a difficult week, and my brain has been overheated. Now, I'm going to show you 111-2523. Here is a collectible silver piece, and this goes back. Look at this. Look at these piggies. If you collect, and I don't say it jestingly, many people actually do collect pigs, anything pigs in particular, and I've seen it in many homes, and nothing wrong with that. Look at that. And then look at this. It has all the goodies for the markings. And here's the money shot. Made in Israel. Israel silversmithing is extremely well known. You have the 925 mark. You have the hallmark that can be, look at that. So MS, that would be one to look up indeed. With the original patina, stamp, and hallmark. Patina meaning oxidation on it. You can see where this sat, how this part did not get oxidized, but at the edge where the air could get to it, you can see where you developed what's known as the patina. That is very desirable. To remove that patina is removing maybe 100 years worth of time that has caused that to build up. I remember my mom had a cleaning lady come to the house with 6 kids one time. Now, my mom had beautiful Oriental objects of art. Some were brass. And this, when my mom came home, this lady was so happy because she was so proud of the job she did in removing the green copper patina had developed on her brass dragons and the other patinas on the incense burners and things like that. My mom, being the polite person, she just had to walk away. She had to walk away. She was so angry at what that lady had done, because my mom knew that probably in her lifetime she'd never seen that patina be built up again. And it wasn't what she was supposed to be doing. Anyway, here's a group of pigs. I have no idea. I think it's quite a valuable object. I had a price of $244 on that. I have a feeling I didn't pull that out of the air, so there must be a value I found that would justify it, and it would have been quite a lot more than that. Here we go. Let's do this. I have no idea of the actual value, except for the fact I put that price on there, which stands for something. Make it $188. You do your homework. Look at that stamp real well, and then come up with the initials. You know what you do? Oh my goodness, that's right. You take a picture. These kids showed me. You take a picture and then you put it into Google or whatever. I want to say Google Translator because I think it's and it'll find the object. I'm going to take this home and do that. I have until Monday to be able to see that this was an amazing deal. And yeah, who knows what that really is worth. From Israel, it could be quite the price. Let me show you something neat that goes with that pre-night sale. Oh boy. Let me see if I can get a number off of it. It did. It scanned. Here we have, look at this, pre-night. Look at this. Yes, I actually was able to find a piece of pre-night, and this is made in America. In other words, a marvelous Connecticut pre-night with pumpelliite. Oh my goodness, I was reading about pumpelliite the other night, and I forgot about this one. Hydrous calcium silicate with variables of aluminum, iron, magnesium, and manganese. Wow, this is from the Roncari Quarry. Look at these other crystals in here. Look at these other crystals. Did you get the item number on this one? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I scanned. Okay, yeah, so, hold on. This is hold on, let's see what this does here. Let me see if I can get that scanned again. Let me see if I can read this number off of here. Yeah, 1039921. Did that pull up correctly? As and the price on this one, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It is gonna be only $38. Only $38. And having pumpelliite in it might add a new mineral to your collection that you have do not have from before. And let me see. A freshwater pearl necklace. Or, here we go. Let's do this. Let me show you this. I have, and we'll make this the last item of the show. This is item 1126423. And this is, we had a huge collection of these at one time, including museum quality pieces. And I believe that we have sold all of them. And here is a little jewel of the Nile left. Look at this. Look at that. Incredible. Spessartine and smoky quartz. A thumbnail specimen, but you can see it's a large thumbnail. Look at those spessartines. And if you say spessartine, that's the correct use of the word. There is actually a spessartite. That is a type of rock, believe it or not. Even though spessartite has been used for in place of spessartine over time. This also has different, there's been like 3 different types of feldspar found with these. So, you know, pick which one. I think it's an albite, but there's also been orthoclase and microcline found with these as well. Mica, this is from the Wushen mine, world famous for these particular specimens. Look in the quartz for any kind of anomalies, or look at the little crystals on the side. Or even any kind of anhydrous. This is stunning. Small, but mighty. And I'll put a price on here that you should love for what it is. And that'll be the last item of the show. So we're going to make that only $68. Only $68 on that one. Grab it. There won't be another one. Look at that. You can see it in my hand with the size. So it's certainly an impressive enough size, especially if you don't have one at all. All right. We'll be right back with the trivia. Okay, due to Latif's wonderful patience and encouragement, I found the leading item I wanted to show really in this entire show, but it was buried underneath all my wrappings. And you know what? He was so kind, he said, hey, we got a few minutes still, let's shoot it. So here we are back. 2 more pieces we found. Trivia will come after this, but let me show you. These are at least going back into the, I want to say mid-1800s, later 1800s, either way, Victorian era. One of the ways you can tell is, now you can see that this is missing the pin, but it is an easy fix. Look at the bradding. You just put a pin right through there, another wire brad, but here, when you see these curved C catches like that, those homemade catches, they work great. They actually work much better than some of these newfangled contraptions. But when you see that, you know you're talking about an old piece. These aren't carat stamps. They are gold of some carat. I am not sure exactly what carat. So that's notated in there. Now, let me show you. This and the carving work, this is real Italian coral. So I thought that for some of you that are super handy, you can recreate these pieces. Like, okay, see that? That's where this goes on. So you get a little bit of that glue that I use that works with fluorescence. Remember, I gave away one of them, and you glue it, and then under a black light, it hardens it up in moments. All right, so you can see that's all it took to put that on there. Look at the carving. You know what a coral piece like this goes for now, even if it was modern. Look at the leaves. Look at these. These are all in great shape. There is nothing here that is broken. If you wanted to, if you're clever, you could strip all of these off, bend the wires where you want, and reinstall all of them, which I would recommend anyway. Clean all the old glue off and make it like new. That would be a fun project because you're going to be into this inexpensively enough that it would be fun to take some of your time and remake that. Look at that. You're looking at something that easily is in 150-year-old time frame. Now look at this color. Look at this color. Now, I quickly wanted to add this to the same item number. Now, you can see right there, I just tacked it with some glue, some of that fluorescent glue, which comes off if you want to pick it off fine. I didn't do a good job. Obviously, I didn't have time, but I just wanted to do it to hold them in place so that I could show this to you. Again, here's the sea catch. This bends up really easily. That tells you how old this is, and it's really old. It is on a branch, roses on a branch with, again, leaves. You're looking at a very time period sensitive piece. And again, this can be redone, but the way it actually is designed, it would look simply lovely, leaving the design like it is. This is the way it pins in, so you don't see the pin like that. And you can put this at any angle on your whatever outfit or blouse you might be wearing. How cool to wear something so old. The positive energy that would be in something like this, no telling what metaphysical doors it could open up. I mean, I don't know, you know, who knows? Who knows? Stranger things have happened. All right, so this, thanks, I wanted to get in the showing of that because that should strike a chord for one of you. Price on both pieces. That's why this is so exciting. It's never going to be less than the price I'm going to tell you now. But if you want it, you couldn't even get the individual carved leaves if you wanted to work with them and design your own work just using part of them. That's what I did. That's why I collected these items. So I'd have the parts and pieces to recreate something new or rebuild what is already old and make it like new again. $88 for both pieces. I'll be right back with the trivia. All right. Well, I had a lot of fun. I really do. You know, 51 years, and I love it as much or more now than 51 years ago. So it was never one of those hobbies that I was going to burn out or get tired of. People say, oh, rock hounds, they never last. I not only lasted, I prevailed, I excelled, and I beat the curve. I've created and sold 2 jewelry stores that are still in existence as part of my legacy. 15 minutes of fame and beyond in solving the largest internet theft crime ring at the time. You know, this is when the internet was kind of new, out, and in the late 90s, and was involved in a sting operation, you know, and all this you can, you know, look up, Google, quite the story of my life that this path has taken me on. And I can't say that the rock and mineral part of it, at any of it, was ever a something to be negative in my life. It is what was the positive driving force in my entire life. And it was raining, it was hot, it was muggy, and we were tired. We were coming home and I thought I had heard the only lot left available in our entire subdivision to be built on. I thought I heard them clearing it. So I said, let me just turn down this road and see. Nobody was working at the time. And I had to leave Raven in the car because it was too hot. She was just wanting to get home. But for me, I could have, gotten out there. So the rain, this was a huge mica deposit. And I thought, wow, if they start digging on this, really what lays beneath it? And you never know. After all the rain, I just quickly looked for surface and nothing much. I'm going to go back today because I heard them doing some more digging over there. And this is how things are found. Remember, in 1828, when gold was discovered, it was discovered in Louisville through the creek, later through hard rock mining. These people weren't driven by a passion for rocks and minerals. They were driven by a passion for gold, for money. And that's not my driving passion. So I think I have a cleaner, more clarity than and proper purpose for my love and passion of rocks and minerals. So just keep that in mind. If something magical ever happens and I find something special, well, that's bonus. But all my life I have spent looking for not treasures of value, but treasures that fill my heart. And rocks and minerals have filled an empty or broken heart many a time when nothing else was there to do it. And to see my rocks and minerals around, yeah, that's magic. So much more I could say in a philosophical way that has brought me to this point. But anyway, I have a trivia question, problem, however way you may want to see it. But what I have done, because I think you need a little bit of encouragement in the see it and say it department. And that's where you take a look at something and give it your best answer as to what you may think that it is. And it's only through that trial and error process that you get to a point where you have the confidence to state what something is, and you have the people that believe in what you say that it is, and by them believing in you, in other words, me, I'm going to make sure that I make the right call to the very best of my knowledge and my intent, which of course, meaning I'm not doing it for a cut of on the side, or which I've been approached. I have been approached to be to try to close a deal and be offered kickbacks to say a certain something or another, just for a sale to be made. And I remember a phone call late one night where I was asked exactly to do that by somebody. And I said, I'm just going to call it as I see it, irregardless of anyone else's influence or opinion. And in the end, it favored him, and it worked out. But I was not going to use up any of my goodwill with the powers that be, or jeopardize my reputation to benefit someone else's selfish greed. Yeah, that's not what I'm doing any of this for. So, anyway, all that said, just a little bit more of Shawn philosophizing, and maybe eventually one day you'll figure me out, and then you can tell me all about me. Let's take a look at 2 different rough stones, and all you have to do is tell me what they are. What are they? So you have to tell me the family name and the type. Like, well, you know, if something is a corundum, and then the type would be ruby or sapphire. If something is a beryl, then you need to, after that, say the family name is beryl, and the gem or mineral name would be one of the beryl members: aquamarine, morganite, emerald, etc. So you don't have to do origin, but for a big extra credit, you can take a shot at origin as well. This goes with the parcel. All right, so I'm just going to move a few of those around for a moment. I think you got a good look at those. And with your knowledge that I've instilled in 6 years of doing this, I think you'll be able to get them right. So there's 2 questions in there. What is the family name and gem type of the darker material? And then the color of the yellowish material, the family name and gem type. All right, I have had a lot of fun. I am sure those will sell out, and I look forward to next week's show already. There's a lot of things I want to get. You remember last week in the compliments, and even for Miss Gabby to say that she thinks it's the strongest mineral and specimen show she had ever seen, or at least in a long, long, long time. Well, that says a lot. I knew I came out with some great pieces. I dug a little deeper at the house. Things have been rearranged. And as a matter of fact, the Yellowstone material, I found a bag of. A bag meaning almost 1,500 carats. This is what I'm talking about, folks. A facet grade material. All of a sudden that you didn't know you had. Oops, oh, here's 1,500 carats. I'm not going to slip up and tell you what it is, trust me. So that's kind of the way our household is. And I feel that energy all the time around me. I feel the power of, and I'm not one of those metaphysical people with the gems and minerals. My angle of getting into it was something far different than that. But I can understand those that are in tune with that realm, how they may benefit from it. There is definitely energy coming from gems and minerals. And I feed on it. I need that energy, that power. And I hope all of you continue to watch this show, because it is really all of you that take care of me and keep me going and keep me coming back, and I hope for a long, long time. God bless. I love each and every one of you. Stay safe, stay cool, and I can't wait until next week. See you then. Cheers.